For those of you who don't live in the Midwest, we've got an amusement park called Cedar Point. It's one of the biggest amusement parks around. Giant roller coasters. It's got all kinds of world records for, I think it's the amount of coasters, the types of coasters, speed, height, everything like that. And it's been around for a long time. You know, if you're a school child in the Midwest area, chances are you've been to Cedar Point on a field trip. When I was in 8th grade, we had a class trip to go to Cedar Point. It was kind of like this last hurrah in middle school before all of us graduate onto high school. So we go to Cedar Point. This is probably 1992 or so. And I think about this all the time because it still freaks me out to this day. I can close my eyes and still picture it. But my buddy and I decided to go on this Ferris wheel. And this girl who was a little bit of a loose cannon, she decides she's going to go on with us. And I think my buddy had a little bit of a crush on her, so we're like, okay, yeah, come on. And this Ferris wheel is, the tallest one I'd ever seen. I just looked it up. It's about 145 feet tall. And our gondola, they call it, the little, swinging thing, the one that we're in is all the way at the top. And I've looked up the rules. This has since changed. They now have you wear seatbelts and there's different fastening mechanisms and stuff like that. But in 1992, there was nothing. There's a bench. You're sitting down. They assume, level-headed people aren't going to fart around in this death trap in the sky. So this girl that we're with undoes the latch for the door, and we're thinking, yeah, you're getting a little risky here. She opens the door, and this is at the very peak, the very top, and leans out into the abyss. And I can very vividly remember her kind of leaning out. It's almost like hanging most of her body out and just hanging on by her hands. I don't know if she went that far, but in my memory, it sure seems that way. And she pulls herself back in, shuts the door and locks it and sits back down. And again, I've looked this up, and now there's all kinds of they must have had a bunch of. I can't imagine she's the only person who was unstable enough to do something like this. But now you've got to wear seatbelts, and there's probably a lock that doesn't open from the inside. But at the time, man, this is jarring, and I don't think he my friend ever pursued anything with this young lady after that. And I don't know what happened to her. She I think she moved away to a different school, and I'm gonna look her up on LinkedIn, see what she's up to. I'll endorse her for stupidity, daredevilness, carny behavior. I don't know what you call it, but it was, to this day, I don't enjoy Cedar Point, even going back. Not because of that, but because I get motion sickness.